have banded together to mount a rogue offensive aimed at defeating the sitting president of their own party. They call themselves the Lincoln Project, named for the party of Lincoln.
The former president, known for his tough and unwavering demeanor, was spotted shedding tears unexpectedly. This unusual display of emotion occurred when he viewed a satirical advertisement from the Lincoln Project. Even someone as distinctive as he was unable to control his feelings. This occurrence has sparked conversation and piqued curiosity about the contents of the ad that moved Trump to tears.
God said, I need a corrupt man who is above the law and immune from justice. So God made a dictator. God said, I need a man who will use violence to seize power. So God made a dictator. God said, I need a man whose followers will call black white, call evil good, and call criminals hostages. So God made a dictator.
God searched for a person with a track record of failure, except in deceiving and making empty promises. That's when Trump, the master of luxury living and convincing desperate people that he was their savior, stepped in. However, the Lincoln Project has emerged as a symbol of democracy, fighting to preserve fundamental rights and freedoms. Although the battle against Trumpism is ongoing, the Lincoln Project has set up a war room far from Washington, D.C., led by Steve Schmidt and Rick Wilson, former Republican operatives. The group has launched a relentless campaign against Trump, using the same tactics they've employed against Democratic opponents in the past, including hard-hitting ads. One ad, called Regret, features comedian David Cross listing Trump's flaws, such as racism, sexism, narcissism, and pandering to Nazis. This ad is famous for its jaw-dropping moment that shocks viewers. Amid the chaos and calamity, a voice cries out in despair, expressing deep regret for ever having voted for Trump. The moment is so powerful that it sends shivers down your spine and leaves you in awe. It's as if the heavens themselves have opened up to condemn past mistakes. Witnessing the cinematic ad is an unbelievable experience. You witness the unveiling of a work of art that embodies sorrow and remorse.
I am starting to regret my vote for Trump.
One message aims to persuade Republican voters that Trump's harmful and divisive actions pose a threat to the nation. Meanwhile, there are ads that strategically target one person, the president himself. For instance, an ad confronts Trump directly about his infamous rally in Tulsa. It uses carefully chosen words like sad, low energy, and weak to highlight the consequences of his actions. This ad not only reflects on Trump's demeanor, but also casts a shadow over his presidency, revealing cracks in its foundation. Perhaps it's this unflinching portrayal that strikes a nerve and prompts tears from the man behind the title. Facing the truth, even through an ad, can be difficult to swallow. The ad's poignant message resonates like thunder as it addresses Trump directly and is much smaller than expected, yet leaves a lasting impact.
Can't deliver. Sad, weak, low energy. Just like your presidency. Just like you.
Although many have supported Trump, even his advocates are now joining the increasing number of those against him. Some have gone as far as to claim that Trump has spent the last 4 years offending almost everyone, and it's now his turn to face condemnation.
I like people that weren't captured, okay?
No, Donald, you're wrong. They are heroes because they were captured.
The Lincoln Project's founders knew they had hit a nerve when Trump responded with his typical Twitter tirades and media outbursts, predictably labeling their organization as the Losers Project. These political strategists consider themselves experts on Trump, carefully anticipating the president's missteps and accumulating a vast collection of material to be released at the most opportune moment. In a recent ad titled P, the Lincoln Project artfully contrasted images of honorable military service with Trump's derogatory comments towards members of the armed forces. The group, composed of former Republican strategists who have turned against President Donald Trump, has been making waves in the political world with their hard-hitting ads and social media campaigns. While the timing of one of their ads, titled Honor Their Sacrifice, was coincidental, as it was released just before Trump's alleged remarks about fallen soldiers were revealed by The Atlantic. The report caused public outrage, prompting the Lincoln Project to quickly respond with a call to action. The group urged their Twitter followers to share photos of real heroes with the hashtag #WeRespect in an effort to highlight the true nature of heroism and show Trump what real heroes look like. In September, Twitter was flooded with heartfelt stories and photos of military veterans and their families responding to a call for submissions. The resulting hashtag became the top political topic of the month. When a Floridian strategist was asked about their use of harsh tactics and language, they shrugged it off, saying they weren't running for president and were simply responding to Trump's history of insults. Steve Schmidt, a seasoned political operative and Trump critic, reminded viewers of this history on MSNBC. The Lincoln Project, a group that has released ads targeting Trump and his allies, recently released an ad called Parasite, aimed at South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham. The ad accuses Graham of being a political parasite and features footage of him praising Trump and then contradicting himself on various issues. While some have criticized the group's tactics as too aggressive and divisive, the Lincoln Project argues that they are fighting for the soul of the Republican Party. Sat there, realizing the gravity of the situation. The party and the nation both agree that Trump poses a significant threat to democracy and must be defeated in the upcoming election. While only time will tell if their efforts will be successful, they have undoubtedly made a significant impact on the political landscape. Meanwhile, Graham was fixated on the screen, his eyes glued to the gruesome images before him. A pack of wild animals was feasting on their prey, and the sound of a voiceover mocked his unwavering loyalty to President Trump. Graham had long been one of Trump's most devoted supporters, defending him at every turn and remaining fiercely loyal. However, as he watched the animals devour their meal, he began to question whether he too was just a pawn in a game, blindly following a leader without truly comprehending the consequences. The voiceover continued to taunt him, questioning his moral compass and willingness to ignore the injustices and lies propagated by the president. Graham felt a knot form in his stomach as he sat there, realizing the gravity of his blind loyalty. Graham came to a sudden realization that he may have been mistaken all this while. As the images on the screen turned more grotesque and the voiceover grew louder, he felt overwhelmed and turned off the television. Left sitting in the dark, he pondered whether it was time to reevaluate his beliefs and stand up for what was right. He knew it might mean going against the man he had once respected, but he couldn't help but wonder if it was necessary.
It's time for decency. It's time for Joe Biden.
The Lincoln Project leaders convened a meeting to discuss their advertising strategy in key swing states such as Arizona, Pennsylvania, and Florida. Stuart Stevens, an experienced advisor with a background in 5 presidential campaigns, recommended a targeted approach, treating each state as a distinct governor's race. He warned against addressing too many issues at once and emphasized the importance of efficient resource allocation. The founders quickly agreed to focus on the recent revelation from Bob Woodward's book, Rage. Stevens was impressed by the constant stream of content from the group and wondered who these people were, as every idea he proposed had already been executed. Mike Madrid, one of the founders, joined the GOP in the late 90s with the aim of empowering his community as a young Latino. Despite his commitment to the party, Madrid became disheartened in 2016 when colleagues and friends found ways to justify supporting Trump, who had disparaged immigrants. In 2018, Schmidt publicly parted ways with the party after Trump downplayed the severity of the coronavirus, despite knowing about it since February. The group produced a succinct video and tweeted the hashtag #TrumpKnew within moments, which quickly became the #1 trending topic. As the project moved forward, filmmakers Kareem Amer, Amy Redford, and Fisher Stevens arrived to capture its progress. Stevens, an outspoken liberal activist, had previously used social media to criticize the administration's policy of separating migrant families at the border. He compared it to some of history's worst abuses, including slavery, and expressed concern that the current GOP represented a threat to democracy. Galen, too, grew increasingly worried about Trump's actions, particularly his deployment of unmarked officers against Black Lives Matter protesters. Initially, Ron Solo, the Lincoln Project's only millennial founder and political strategist, considered creating anti-Trump ads himself. However, he ultimately decided to join forces with the Lincoln Project, recognizing their relentless focus on state-level politics as a clear deviation from traditional Republican principles. Silo highlights the harsh reality that his generation is facing, the lesson that democracy is not guaranteed. The Lincoln Project proudly boasts an impressive 2 million followers, so grab some popcorn and stay tuned for the next chapter of this political drama, with all the unexpected surprises it may bring. That's all for now. Catch you in the next video. Until then, farewell.